Dear students, I hope you're enjoying your vacation and you and your family are well and you are ready for Hanukkah. This Shabbat, we are going to have Shabbat Hanukkah, Parashat Mikets. Parashat Mikets always falls during Hanukkah. So let's sing the name of this week's Parashat. Parashat Hashavua Mikets, Mikets. Parashat Hashavua Mikets. Mikets, Parashat Hashavua, Parashat Hashavua, Parashat Hashavua, Mikets. So if you remember, last week was Parashat Vayeshev Yaakov. Yeah, we read the story. We ended the parasha with Yosef being in jail. Remember, after his brothers sold him, he ended up in jail. And then the two ministers, the butler and the baker, had dreams, and Yosef knew how to explain to them the dreams. Now, this week's parasha, Parashat Mikets, we are learning about Paro having dreams. Also, two dreams. He dreams about cows that he sees like cows coming out of the Nile, and some of them like 7 fat cows and 7 very thin and like they look like not so healthy, and they're like very small cows compared to the other one that look healthy and fat. And the thin cows are eating the big cows, but interestingly they stay thin. Like what would we think? That if a thin cow eats like a big cow, it's gonna get fat, right? But in the dream it wasn't like that. And also so Paro woke up and he says, wow, this is a very weird dream. So he went back to sleep, and then he dreams again. Now this time he dreams of wheat, like you know how it's growing in the ground. So nice big wheat, and he sees 7 of these, and then very thin, like almost like thin rice, that each wheat is like so small. And then in his dream he sees that the small wheat is eating the 7 other wheat, and then still the 7 small and thin wheat is staying very thin. So he woke up in the morning and he called all these people. You know, he was a king, so he had many people that could help him understand what his dreams mean. But everybody, they were thinking and they were telling him, maybe this is the solution, maybe that's the explanation. And he said, no, it's not it. I don't think I remember what it was supposed to be, but it wasn't it. All of a sudden, the butler, Sarah Mashkim, remembered Yosef from 2 years ago. That when he was in jail, he met Yosef, and Yosef knew how to interpret the dream. So he told Paro, you know, remember you put me in jail 2 years ago? There was a Jewish boy over there, and he knew how to interpret all the dreams. Paro said, go get me this Jewish boy immediately. I want him over here. So in jail, he didn't have nice clothing. He wasn't like really properly shaved. They took him, they gave him a shower, they gave him nice clothing, they shaved his beard, and he stands in front of Paro. Now Yosef, remember we said Yosef had a lot of emunah, and he knew that everything that was happening to him is from Hashem. So Paro told him, oh, I heard that you know how to interpret dreams. Yosef said, listen, it's not me. Only if Hashem will help me, I will know how to interpret. But if Hashem is not going to help me, I'm not going to know anything. So Paro told him the dream, and he said, Yosef was thinking, he studied a lot of Torah, he had a lot of wisdom, and he said, look, Hashem is actually telling you, Paro, that the 7 cows that you saw will be 7 years, and the fat cows and the fat wheat will be 7 years of a lot of food, right? When there is a lot of food, so even the animals and the fruits that we have, they become very big. But then Yosef said, you see the 7 thin cows that are very skinny eating the fat cows and staying skinny, it is because there will be another 7 years after those 7 years there will be a lot of food, another 7 years that there won't be food, and people will actually starve if they don't make a good plan. So Paul said, what do you think we should do? Yosef told him, you have to hire somebody to preserve and keep a lot of food properly. And then when there's not going to be food anymore in the land, you can take from the warehouse, store a lot of food in the warehouse, and then you can take it so your people can eat. So Paro is looking and thinking, you know what? You knew the explanation of the dream, and I don't think anybody here is as smart as you, Yosef. All the people there, the goyim, they look and they say, what is this? We are older, we have more experience. You're taking this young Jewish boy who we don't even know who he is. Paro said, that's what I want. He is gonna be right under me. I'm gonna be the king, but he is going to control this land, and everybody is going to have to listen to Yosef. So think about it. From jail, Yosef all of a sudden became a king of Egypt, that everybody now needs him. So now, remember that we shared, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted Yosef to be in jail. So when he becomes a king, he knows what people feel like when they're in jail. Sometimes Hashem puts us down in order for when we're up, we're going to remember whoever is down. So says the Torah, that Yosef now got a nice car, and got a nice wagon with nice big horses, and he's going around the city, and everybody's saying, oh, Yosef, you're the king. And then he got married, and he had 2 boys. His wife's name was Osnat. Osnat, repeat after me, Osnat. And then his children, 2 boys, Menashe and Ephraim, which there is a special story about them too. We're going to talk about them in the future. So now Yosef got married, he has the 2 children, and 7 years passed. Now what did we say? That after the 7 years there's going to be a lot of food. Yosef is going to keep and preserve a lot of food, and then 7 years of no food will come, famine, no food at all. So people slowly, they were also keeping food like Yosef did, but they didn't know how to do it properly like Yosef. So all their food got rotten and got not good. They couldn't even smell it. They ended up having to throw it. And then everybody had to come to Yosef and to get food. In the beginning, they came to Paro. They said, King, you're our king. Please, we are your people. Take care of us. You have food to give us. Paro said, listen, I am not in charge anymore. Go to Yosef. Whatever he tells you, you should do. They go to Yosef. Yosef said, of course, I'm going to give you food, but I'm going to sell it to you. And slowly, he made for Paro a lot of money. He didn't, charge them a lot, but people had to buy so much. So he made a lot of money for Paro, which made Paro happy, because now he has a lot of money. He can buy things that he wants, and he can take care of the people that he wants. So then, also what happened? Yaakov Avinu and Yosef's brothers, those who sold him, they were living in Israel. Also over there in Israel, there was less food. So Yaakov told his children, now you have to go. I heard that in Egypt, there is food. There is somebody there, a new ruler, a new king, that he gives everybody food. They said, okay, we're going to go. So they went, how many of them? 10 brothers. They were all together, they were 12. But Yosef was not with them anymore. He was in Egypt. They sold him. They don't know where he ended up. They didn't even know he was taken to Egypt. And Binyamin was the youngest. So the father said, I don't want to send Binyamin with you. Okay, they go down to Egypt. They go a long way. They take with camels, with horses, whatever they had. And they get to Egypt. They ask people, do you know where we can go buy some food? We're coming from Israel and we don't have food over there. They said, yes, there is a person over there. His name wasn't Yosef, because when he was in Egypt, they gave him another name. And all of a sudden, the brothers, they come and they stand in front of Yosef. Now think about it. Yosef was very young. He didn't have any beard when they sold him. Now, it's already many years later. He had beard, he had a hat like a king. And so they looked at him. They didn't recognize him. They didn't think for 1 second that the brother that we sold, that we threw him in the pit and then we sold him to those business people. Well, all of a sudden, he's a king in Egypt. They didn't recognize Yosef. They did not know it was Yosef. But Yosef, he saw them and he saw his brothers. He recognized also, he heard them talking Hebrew. And that's a language that he understands. He says, these are my brothers. Now remember, what was his dreams? He dreamt that they will bow down to him. They didn't believe it, but he knew his dream wasn't on purpose. His dream was from Hashem. So he just told them like that. He didn't brag about it. You're going to bow down to me. But now all of a sudden, he's the king and they are coming and bowing down to him. Yosef remembered what they did to him, and he knew that he has to be a little tough with them to show them that what they did was not right. So he said, hey, how many of you are here? They said, we're 10. He says, 10? Why are you so many people coming and get food? 2, 3 is enough. They tell him, no, listen, we're a big family. We were 12 brothers, but now one brother, we don't know where he is. And one brother, he's actually stayed with our father. They're talking about Binyamin, that we say he was little. Yosef is thinking, where is your other brother? So we don't know where he is. What does he mean? He wants to see what they say. They didn't want to say that they sold him. They weren't happy about it. And where is the little brother that you said? Oh, they said he's back in Israel with our father. Our father's name Yaakov, and our brother's name is Benjamin. Yosef said, you know what? You want me to believe you? He accused them that they were spies. Now, you know what spies are? Spies are people that are coming from another country to check on the new country, on the place, and then they go back and they tell their people how to fight with these people. That's what a spy is. They spy, he goes, he looks, he says, oh, it's good to come from here, or it's good to attack from here. So they heard that Yosef is telling them that they are spies. This is no way. We are not spies. We're just coming to gather food. Yosef said, I'm not going to believe you unless you are going back to your father and bringing your little brother over here. Otherwise, don't ever come back. And he actually took away Shimon from them and he put him in jail until they left, and then he took Shimon out of jail. So says the Torah that they got back to their father Yaakov, and their father sees only 9. Who is Shimon? Where is Shimon? They said, Dad, don't ask. We got to Egypt. We wanted to get food. We came in front of this tough king was telling us that we're spies, and we don't know why he said that to us. Yaakov says, why did he say that? They said, we don't know. Out of nowhere, he just says we're spies. And then he took away Shimon, and he said that if we want to come and get more food and get Shimon, we have to bring down Binyamin. We have to bring down Benjamin. The father said, oh, why did you do that to me? Why did you even tell the guy that you have another brother? I don't want to send my Benjamin. Look, I don't have Yosef. Now I don't have Shimon. Now you want to take Binyamin also? He didn't agree to send Binyamin also to Egypt. But then what happened? They went to bring food. Right? We go to the supermarket. We buy food. And then after a while, food is finished, so we have to go back to the supermarket. So right there, they brought the food. There's no food in the land of Israel. All the stores are closed over there. They have to go back where? To Egypt after a couple months. So they finished the food. what is the problem? Yaakov does not want to send Binyamin. And Yosef said, don't come back without your little brother. They didn't know what to do. Reuven tried to convince his father and the other brothers until Yehuda said, Daddy, I guarantee you I am going to bring them back. I'll bring back Binyamin and we're going to get Shimon also. And if not, that's going to be a big sin that I will do. Yaakov didn't have any option. So he said, okay, so at least if you're going, take some gifts and give this ruler, give this guy, this king, that he's not going to be sad and upset and tough with you. So they took stuff and they went down to Egypt. They come again to Yosef and they stand in front of him. Yosef was the son of Leah and Binyamin was the son of Leah. So that is the closest brother to him. He saw him, he saw his little brother Binyamin. Yosef, how many years he didn't see his brother? The 12 years and then another 7, almost 20 years that he didn't see his brother. He went to another room and started crying. He got very emotional from seeing his little brother. He remembered his mother, Rachel, that she passed away, as we learned. So then he washed his face. He got, he made himself like he was not crying. And he came back out to them. He got them Shimon and they were eating together. And he gave them more money. They paid and they were ready to go back to their father. They were happy. They said, thank God we don't have problems anymore with this guy. We brought Benjamin. Now they are ready to go back. But look, when you go to Egypt to buy food, you bring them your bag, the sack, and they put the wheat inside. Yosef called his worker. He says, come over here. You see this little cup? The silver cup. That I know a lot of things by the silver cup. He was making as if he was going like this with the silver cup and saying, oh, you're Reuven. Oh, you're Shimon. You're Levi. You're you. How did he know? Because it was his real brother. His real brothers. They didn't know that he knows because it's Yosef. So they thought this guy can do magic. He has like spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, that he could see stuff. So they were very scared of him. But he said, take this cup and put it in the sack of my little brother Binyamin, and then put all the wheat on top of it and give it to him. And then give everybody, fill up their sacks and give it to them. They got it. They put it on their donkeys. They put it on their camels. And they are ready to go back to Israel. They started leaving the city a little bit. All of a sudden, they hear horses running after them. They look, they see police officers, army people. Hey, stop on the side, pull over, stop on the side. They don't understand what's going on. They stop on the side. They said, he's sitting on the horse, the police officer, and says, why did you steal the silver cup of my master? This cup that he sees a lot of things and he can tell a lot of things from looking at the cup. They said, what are you talking about? In the beginning, you told us that we're spies. Now you see we're not spies. Now you're telling us that we are thieves, that we steal. No way, we don't steal. Let me check your sacks, he said. And remember, where is the silver cup? In the sack of Binyamin. He didn't even know, because the other guy, the worker of Yosef, put it inside. And they started checking Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. So it go all the brothers until the little one, Binyamin. And all of a sudden they find the silver cup inside Binyamin's sack. They didn't know what to do. They started crying and sad. And then they came back to Yosef to see, because maybe he'll tell them that now all of them have to be his slaves because they stole the silver cup. But really, they didn't steal it, but they didn't know what to do. And remember that Yehuda now has a problem, because Yehuda promised his father that he's going to bring back Binyamin. What is he going to do now? What is he going to tell his father now? Because now he said, Binyamin will be a slave. Yosef said, Binyamin will be a slave because he stole the silver cup. So now Yehuda had a big problem, and we will see, Be'ezrat Hashem, next week's Parashat, how the story continued. I want to wish you and your family happy Hanukkah and Shabbat Shalom.